Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Campfire Tales, Cryptids of America. Tonight, joining us around the campfire, we have a young lady who has had a Bigfoot experience in the Pacific Northwest around Arlington, Washington. And joining us here at the fire is Janelle. So, Janelle, let's get started with your story. Tell me your story.
Okay, well, I guess it was about 10 years ago now. My husband and I went on a road trip. We went up to the PNW, to Washington and Oregon. And one night, near the end of our trip, we decided we were tired of sleeping in the tent, so we booked a yurt. And this yurt was in the middle of a campground. We were the only guests there. There was a river running through it. We were surrounded by forest, and it was honestly a really beautiful place to camp, but we ended up getting so creeped out.
How'd you get creeped out?
Well, I'm into photography, and the night sky was really vibrant that night, and so I wanted to set my camera up on a tripod, and I was going to photograph the yurt all aglow with the campfire and get the night sky. So I had my camera out there, I had everything set up perfect, and I set my slow shutter, and I hit take a photo, and I was waiting for it to, sit there for however long the shutter was, a minute or so. And my husband was standing there with me, and next thing you know, we hear running through the woods. And keep in mind, our yurt is in a clearing surrounded by a forest. It's on all sides of us. And we hear running, not through the forest, but on the edge of the forest.
When you say running, you talking about like a deer or?
No, it was definitely on two legs. And
Okay.
I turned to my husband and I said, "Honey, is that a bear?" And at this point, we had been hearing the running clearly on two legs for so long that he was like, "Bear don't run on two legs like that, not for that amount of time." It was very unnerving. And then it stopped running and it started pacing. You could hear the leaves crunching under its feet as it was just walking the perimeter of the woods, and you just felt like it was staring at you.
Did walking hearing the leaves crunch? Did it sound like something large? Or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And I turned back. I was looking at the trees trying to see what it was. And I turned back to my husband to say, "Yeah, I don't think that's a bear, you're right." But when I looked over my shoulder, my husband was already running back towards the yurt.
Oh, wow.
And so I grabbed my camera, grabbed my tripod, ran back into the yurt with him. We shut and locked the door. We closed every curtain.
Now, isn't a yurt just kind of a canvas
Yeah.
circle? Oh, yeah, lots of protection there.
Yeah. But we were afraid to look out the windows the rest of the night. We weren't able to enjoy the yurt like we had wanted because was that a Sasquatch? I have no idea.
It's funny you would say Sasquatch because to me, all of these creatures that are called Bigfoot are part of a species. You have dogs who are canine and cats feline, horses equine and all that kind of stuff. So to me, all these things that we group together as part of a species that I just call Sasquatch. And then in different parts of the country, they are broken down further. Yeah, over here you had the Sasquatch, the wood booger, or I don't know, whatever they call them in the skunk ape, whatever. Now you said PNW, that's Pacific Northwest.
Right.
Where were you?
Oh, we were in Arlington, Washington at a campground. And I don't remember the name of the campground. I couldn't tell you anything other than It had yurts. It had a river. It was surrounded by a forest.
You don't know if it's state park, national park, city park.
No, I really don't remember. I'm sure you could find it if you looked, but.
Okay, so you and your husband are outside, and you hear this large animal walking around on 2 feet, and so you turn to your husband and say, "I don't think that's a bear," and he's already gone, huh?
Yeah, and he is a very level-headed person. Like, he does not believe in stuff until he sees proof of it, and so for him to have taken off running, that says a lot.
And how long had you guys been married at that time?
6 years, maybe?
6 years. And how long have you been married now?
15.
15. Well, kudos to you, because a lot of people, it would have ended right there. Take you out in the woods and use you for bait. Live bait at that.
Right. Yeah, we didn't stay very long the next day.
Yeah. So the next day, did you look around, see if you saw any tracks? Or?
No, and I wish we had thought to do that, but we were both just so bothered by it that we just packed up and left. Like, I don't even think we slept well. If I remember right, we were up at about 4 or 5 a.m., went to the shower house together, because absolutely not are we walking through Bigfoot territory alone after that, and I think we were gone by 6 a.m.
Now, that night, you said that it was peaceful out, and then, so did you hear any other animals? Birds, squirrels?
I don't remember.
Okay, so there's nothing that you can recall that make you think that there's a large predator out there?
No, like the only sounds I distinctly remember are the running through the woods. And actually my first thought when I heard the running was, oh, it's another camper.
Okay. Another camper.
So I could hear you.
Okay.
My first thought was actually that it's another camper playing in the woods, but then I remembered there was no one else there, and why would somebody be playing in the woods at almost midnight? It made no sense.
Well, I probably would in my youth, but I wouldn't be considered a large predator type animal either. What do you think it could have been in the woods, walking around on 2 feet, making that kind of noise?
I mean, my guess, I'd have to say Bigfoot, but I really don't know. Like, I didn't see him, but I can't think of any other thing it could have been.
That reminds me of a couple of interviews that I've done, and including my own experience. I saw this thing standing in the roadway, clearly. My sister was in the front seat with me, clearly looking at this creature. And there is absolutely nothing. There's no. It was a Sasquatch. I mean, that's all it could have been, and you can break it down into whatever species you want. Some people are calling it the wood booger of that area, but Grandview. But I've never seen anything like it before or after, and to be honest with you, I hope I never do again. And then one of the guys that I interviewed up in LB, he was in Ashford, Oregon, and it had been a few years since he had the experience. And I could tell during my interview with him that all this time had gone by, and it finally dawned on him what he had seen, because you could tell it in his voice and the look on his face. I saw a Bigfoot, So, anyhow, I want to thank you for your time. for my listeners out there, don't forget to like, share, ring the bell, and all that kind of stuff. And in the comments, tell me what you think it was that she saw, or heard, rather. And also, if you have any stories, feel free to give us a shout out. Okay? Thanks a lot.